Good morning, everyone. Thanks for being here. Hey, Nanda. And I'm a little late again today. I might have to change the time of these live broadcasts depending on, I don't know, as I'm doing more and producing more, hate to use the word content, it sounds like whatever, as I'm writing more stuff. I wrote out some scalp levels, whatever, this morning in more detail. And so as a result, my daily plan isn't really finished. I have to reorganize the format, which probably should have been done over the weekend, but here we are. Anyway, let's do it, like Boomer says. That's my man. Good morning. Okay, so we got some people here, and so I didn't have a time to do my TV string, so I'm just using mental cues levels. I'll kind of supplement with my own stuff for my subscribers. They'll be getting my intraday, my TV string. Let me update the script as well. One thing is real easy. It just updates right here. You click update. I'll throw in a discount link if you want. And so this, we got kind of too many lines here, but whatever. Okay, so long story short, yesterday we kind of were in that tight zone. Let me get a couple lines off here. Hold on, there's just too many lines. Yesterday we were in this tight zone over 60, 65, kind of grinding up toward the 90 call at the end of the day. There was a lot of overhead calls sold that ended up with that mean reverting charm drift up. Counterintuitive, but that's what happened. And then, as I've been saying, what ends up happening is locally, when I say locally, I mean near where spot is trading, there's a lot of people buying and selling. So sometimes if a position isn't that large, it gets eroded. And what was positive gamma suppression, resistance, quote unquote, above or support, quote unquote, below, gets eroded by buying intraday. And then we kind of have some interesting moves, so to speak. Okay. Then we have, of course, we had NVIDIA and first overnight reaction. I think they beat numbers, so yay. The market said yay. Then they missed here, they missed there, China, Schmina, and the market said boo. And not selling their H2200 chips in China. They had none this year, and their forecast doesn't include China, which actually, if you ask me, that gives a nice excuse for an earnings boost when Trump makes some kind of deal with China and Nvidia is already working on a China compliant chip, et cetera, et cetera. And this guy is this guy is a smart guy, this Vincent Wong, with his silver hair and his black leather jacket. I'm sure he's gonna, you know, whatever. As you can see, we're actually green after all that. NVIDIA stayed within the expected move, as I had said live on this channel, quote unquote. And actually, although it gapped down, and we were watching this live on TV, I keep calling it on YouTube and X yesterday, and I said, post market would be a good dip to buy, and here we are 10 points later. Anyway, enough of that. And as long as NVIDIA stays within the expected move, which was about 6%, was over 10 points. I forgot what it was. It was a pretty big expected move. I don't expect any funny hedging response from the market makers to spill over. What typically happens, and this is what I've observed, I haven't like backed it up with data, quote unquote. What typically happens is when we exceed the expected move in either direction, and there's a decent chunky size of options positions, um, and that volatility starts to realize, and people are long those options or short those options, then we get these outside moves like we got with MongoDB yesterday. NVIDIA seems to be behaving, and there was call put skew rather than call skew, which is unusual for NVIDIA. Actually, whatever puts were bought near spot, near the expected move, will fail to realize because they were expensive, providing a charm supportive tailwind. And so, even, how much of this moving NVIDIA is hedging or whatever, I don't know. But a little bonus here. So, guess what? 6,500. You said it couldn't be done. Well, certainly looks close. However, now we're in the however department. And the expected move for today was 25-ish. So say 80, 95 on top, 25, say 55 on bottom. So it should be, this zone here close enough. 50 round number, think. And now we'll get into the more nuanced levels in a second. And like I said, my trading view string with my levels will be out a little later today. It won't be that much different. There'll be something over here, which we'll talk about in a second. So my levels will be out for my subscribers, obviously, not for whatever. And maybe for WHOP people. We're also doing something on WHOP and expanding what we're doing. And I've been giving free content there, the entire note, the roadmap and everything, so people can kind of see what we do here. Because there may be some people that don't know, or you people on Twitter or on YouTube that do know, you can jump on there. And probably over the weekend we'll be offering some sort of special something or other. I don't know. I'll have to think about it. But I'm, that Zen, go with the flow. I'll figure it out as I go along, and we'll see what happens. It's kind of my style. Anyway, let me put Chewy on the stage there. Okay. Like I often say, I talk fast, so you have to think fast. You have to listen fast. I talk fast, so I think fast, so you have to listen fast. Okay, so let's go to the bar chart view here. We already looked at Mentor Q's presentation. Well, that's way up in the sky, so that's not going to do it. That doesn't really matter. I want to find this dashboard. Okay. Options Depth offers a choice to build a few different dashboards, so that blah, blah, blah. We don't need to see all the way down here, but I'd like to have some context below. We'll just go 85, 30. We actually might need a little more context above. Let's go 55 to start, and then we'll zoom in. Okay. So, may you live in interesting times, as a man says. 90 is a pretty big positive gamma level. It was there yesterday and it's there today. Oh, what? Well, hold on, folks. Hold on, folks. Yeah, the 28, 20. Okay, I have the right date. Want to make sure I didn't have the wrong date. Oh, it's there. 90 was there yesterday and it's there again today. 90s are being sold. So what happens is, I mean, obviously, this acts as resistance, quote unquote, or suppression. But with a little change in volatility and some buying up here, there's a chance we could get through it. So we have a pretty big cluster here, 90 to 6,500, that the market's going to have to eat through. The round number is psychological. So if buyers come in around here, can they erode it? I don't know, it's how many contracts here? Like 3,000. That's kind of chunky. It's not so easy to erode right away. And you have another 2,000 this year, so 5,000 contracts. So let me see the question. So market makers have to buy, and that no market maker long. Howdy, market maker long is market makers hedge against the direction of the move. So as we go up, they sell. Let's talk money. How about let's make money? And we'll talk money in a minute. So if it goes up, they sell. They go against the direction of the move. But against the direction of the move is a two-way street. As it moves away, then they buy against the direction of the move. And we have this whole cluster here, 64.45 and higher, that's broadly supportive. And so you can just see, trust your eyes. Your eyes are a good filter. Trust your eyes. You see all this area, choppy 85, 80, 75. So here's your chop battle zone. Your eyes tell you that. You don't need, your eyes tell you the battle zone. If we can get over 90, 6,500, and we're pretty close, then we have the zone of positive, of market makers short gamma that acts as a magnet, quote unquote. However, let's remember that a lot of these are likely the other side of call credit spreads. Although some institutions are big enough to sell, say, 6,500 nakeds, around number, maybe hedging or synthetic long, synthetic shorts, whatever they're doing here. Typically, these are going to be credit spreads, call credit spreads. And so a lot of this is the other side of that. A lot of the longs are the other side of the shorts, which, though we can go through, we have this on top here at 25 again. So this could end up, if we break above 90, 95, let's say, let's keep it simple. If we break above 6,500, then we get trapped in here, and the magnets push and pull us away from 25 and push and pull us away from 6,500 or 6,490. I'm not sure what happens to this. This is interesting. And we kind of have this area. If we should fail to take this out, 6,590, 6,500, maybe overcut. We tend to overshoot and pull back, maybe overcut. And we have this broadly supportive range here. Here, meaning I don't like when other people, presenters, do it. They say here, and they don't say the numbers. So when I say here, I'm saying 64.80, kind of where we are. If we open flat, we have 64.70, which I made the bottom of my chop zone. I'm tightening them up so that there's more relevance. I might change that again. But this is a small area. If you look at the numbers, 235, there's less than 1,000 contracts. So this is the local stuff that I talk about that'll likely get eaten away by buyers and sellers of options. 64.45 looks solid, but if we exceed the expected move, bad news, whatever, then 64.45, 64.15. Think of that as a wide butterfly structure with a mid around here, 30.25, or think of a 25.45, 35 put structure. Not saying we go down there. I'm saying highly unlikely, but just I've learned more and more to think in terms of structures like that. I thought 60 was sold since they bought it. Well, so right, 60 they were sold. 64.90s were sold. So sold by customers. Market makers are long. Market makers long gamma hedge opposite the direction of the move. Think of it as a rule. They hedge against this direction. So as we go up, they have to sell. Right. They were sold by customers. Customers sold. Market makers bought. Okay. So now that's okay. So now let's look again at the depth view. The depth view shows us where the numbers are. 62. And so you see some pretty large numbers here where we are above us, 90. We have like 5,000 over here. Likely the other side of some of these up to 64.15. Then the selling starts again at 25 and 30, 65, 25 and 30. 65.75, well, there's a lot sold, but I don't know if that's a 100 wide gang or not. We've been identifying the 100 wide gang, and Volatility, the Hoot Owl, has been putting those trades in for us in our chat, which has been an invaluable aid. And there's this, we call them the 100 wide gang that sells way out of the money, 100 wide iron condors times whatever it is, 5,000, 7,000, pretty big size, 10,000, I don't remember, it's a big size. And they're collecting, I don't know, 15, 20 cents, 20 bucks times X thousand contracts, but it ends up being maybe a 0.5% return on margin. You know, they seem to be happy to squeeze out. I'm going to guess their strategy is, I haven't really looked at the numbers. If they squeeze out 1% a week, they're heroes. And they haven't gotten hit yet. So that's all I can say. And they weren't always there. They've showed up in this environment. So there's some kind of volatility harvesting fund that's been doing this. And like I said, they weren't there in April, so it's not that these people are schmucks, technical term. It's not that these people are stupid. And I've been saying counterintuitively, when volatility is in this level, it's actually a reasonable time for selling premium. 15 to 17, 18, 16. When it's 20 and higher, it gets much trickier because, again, the option market isn't stupid. When they're forecasting big moves, we tend to get them, depending which way the weather forecast is going. Am I saying that we're going to stay here forever? No. This is a roadmap. This is the church of what's happening now. Okay. Chewy, you want to say something to the folks?
Hey, good morning, everybody. Yeah, so For me, I had a game plan for some downside later this week. It still holds true if we start to break below 64.80. Doc, I didn't hear your earlier portion, so I'm sorry if some of this is repetitive.
Now, are you giving us E-mini numbers or SPX?
only.
Okay, okay.
64.80 SPX. If we hold below there, we should see 64.70 relatively easy. If we start to hold above 64.90, I'm going to be targeting 6,500 SPX, potentially 65.10.
Okay. And Drew's going to be running our ES scalping room, which we've kind of have up and running, but it's, sort of just beginning to do it, right? I know I was busy doing the live stream and the charts and the commentary in my channels. I didn't get to hear what you were doing. Did you do something?
Yesterday, yeah, we were in. If you're subscribed, you get access to the Zoom, and we're in there trading ES together.
So Boomer asked, let me put this on. So Boomer asked if you're going to be doing some scalping with screen share today.
I don't do screen share just because my computer's it slows down, but I am going to upgrade and then I'll start doing screen share then.
Okay, so this is all a work in progress. We're kind of tweaking what we're going to be doing and how we're going to be doing it. And I'm not sure exactly what it's going to look like, but I will say whatever special offer we offer, jump on now while there's still a special offer. Be coming up, maybe Labor Day special. Sounds like a good excuse.
Yeah.
Now let's just take a look while I have Mentor Q up here. And my note's going to be late today. Sorry, folks. It just is. But you get it live here, and it will be before the bell. It will be before the bell.
The way it's set up as well, you can be a part of Doc's SPX stream and the ES stream at the same time.
Now, hold on. Let me find ES here. Where's the E's? They keep changing the alphabet on me. Here it is. So also, E-mini is right near 6,500, that nice round psychological level. So I don't know. I don't look at, the order, ladder, all that stuff. That's not my shtick. I tried it a little bit when I was experimenting with different, ways I wanted to trade. I was already a Gexer, but I said, let me check this out. I don't know how many years ago, Thinkorswim rolled out that free book map on Thinkorswim. So I played with Bookmap, and I even subscribed to their expensive fancy thing. And it was all right. I didn't like it. I did okay. It's just not my thing. Not every strategy or every style works for everybody. But some strategy works. There's some strategy that work for everybody. Not every strategy works for everybody, but there's something for everyone. And you have to just kind of find your niche suiting your personality, the way you look at things, understand the markets, et cetera, risk tolerance, whatever. And so, we expect the battle here at 6,500. I'm sure there's resting orders, buying, selling, whatever they do. And you guys that look at that stuff, you could tell me better. You could. Now, the other thing I wanted to say, and I've been speaking for a few days, again, toot my own horn, about IGV, just as a proxy for software. In the latest bout of sector rotation, Wall Street narratives, MongoDB we can use as a poster child. Where is it? MongoDB as the poster child for what Wall Street's been doing, and we could use Snow as a less extreme example. They've been selling off software names, even Microsoft and, whichever, and rotating somewhat into other sectors, industrials, wherever they've been rotating. I don't track rotation that tough, but everyone knows they've been rotating. IWM is getting ready to have another breakout, kind of stalling there where the yearly highs have been. And so look at what happened to MongoDB, rotation back, obviously they had earnings. Everybody's narrative was that the new narrative was that, well, with AI, we don't need all these software companies. Everybody's going to make their own stuff. Apparently, news of my death has been greatly exaggerated. And so Snow popped, Snowflake. And these are just examples. ServiceNow got beaten up. I haven't looked at it, but you guys can look on your own. CRM, I've started to take a speculative position, some shares and sold puts. Haven't gotten into options yet. Salesforce, beginning to go. See, here was the easy trade down here. I don't buy the breakout. I buy the failed breakdown. I sell the breakout to you momentum people who can then take it from there. CrowdStrike had bad earnings. Now the cyberspace in general has gotten beaten up, and we'll be having some more equity trades, stocks and options more, also for like a premium tier, whatever that's going to look like. I think cyber is the next sector to rotate back into. That's just, could I be wrong? Sure. But I like a price void down and a price void back up. I don't know that we get to here, but I don't know that we don't. Slowly run up into earnings enthusiasm. When we were down here, and I mentioned this trade, right after we broke down here somewhere, big institutional trade, I suppose. 10,000 contracts, October, 180, 195 call debit spreads. Well, look where we are now. I followed it and I closed it. Paper hands, I closed it when we kind of got to 180, when that got in the money, or when we got close to it in the 170s, I closed it out. So we'll see. So that's basically it. It's 9:03. I'm going to wrap it up unless there's oh yeah, wait. You forgot this. Okay. So yesterday, again, on TV, as I call it, somebody asked about, well, what about 1DTE iron conduits? I said, well, I don't know with NVIDIA, but then I looked at, what did I do? Real simple. I looked at options depth for the next day, identified a level that looks pretty juicy where there were sold calls. I said, well, above that looks pretty good. And where there were sold puts, and there seemed to be sold puts down in the 95 area, I said, below there seems to look pretty good. I'm willing to take a lotto there. And here it is, 50% profit overnight. Going to be the DIGG, DOX, Iron Gamma Goat trade. Won't go on every day, but will go on, and that'll be part of the premium service as well. I think I say that now, who knows? But that's kind of my thinking. Go ahead.
Before you go, will you share the link in this YouTube chat?
Yes. Hold on. Let me share the link. Hold on. Thank you. I tend to forget this stuff sometime.
Selena, Reginder, all that, the description, all that stuff is available on the link he's about to provide.
Let me get the link. And I guess this weekend I'll have a little more admin-y stuff to do, which is not my strong suit, but luckily Julia's a millennial, or Jen, whatever Jenny is. And He's good at this stuff. For him, it's like dialing a rotary phone. Okay, so there's the Whoop site, which we've kind of have active live, but we're still kind of tweaking exactly how that's going to go. But you can, of course, subscribe there. While we're at it, might as well throw in all the other stuff, which the other stuff includes discount links. I gotta find them. I got stuff to spread out. Here's a Mentor Q discount link. If you liked what you were seeing with the Mentor Q chart, there it is. Of course, the one that I use the most is options depth. Here's the options depth discount link. If you're interested in Gamma Edge, which I didn't get to pull up today, DM me somewhere, Twitter, Discord, wherever, Substack, and I can get you that. That I'm trying to work something out with them. And that's pretty much it. Substack, you know where to find me. Let me just throw that in there too. Although I'm trying to slowly wean off of Substack, the main reason is because it gets hard to navigate. As a content provider, there's all kinds of, it seems like they figure out ways to make it harder for me to do what I need to do rather than easier. Or what I want to do. I don't know what I need to do, what I want to do. But here's the Substack thing. I mean, we'll be there. You know, if you're subscribed to Substack, you're not going to get screwed. Technical term. You're going to get everything you paid for. It's not going to go away. I'll be doing whatever I've been doing continually. We're going to be migrating more and more so that everything will be in one central place, Discord and WAP, and also the Options Gelt website, and everything else there'll be content, there'll be landing pages to get to where the action is. That sound like a fair explanation? Okay. Yeah, right? He looks just like him. Isn't that funny? All right. So with that said, I'm out of here. Thanks everybody for listening. Wait, I see private chat. Oh, there it is. Bad Hombre put it in there. Okay. I'll share the link on YouTube. Okay. Okay. Remind me after I get the note out to get the link on YouTube. I mean, I put it there. I don't know if it went to the YouTube stream. Well, don't cancel the Substack yet. We want to make sure that this is seamless and that things don't get lost in the shuffle. We'll give you like detailed instructions on how to do that, everybody. So don't cancel stuff. Yeah, we'll definitely post steps and timeline, whatever. We'll kind of work out the nuts and bolts of that over the weekend and let everybody know. It's not like tomorrow. It's over months, not days. So let's just not get too crazy. Let's not get too, what's the word? Reactive. Let's not get too convex in our moves. This is positive gamma, not negative gamma. So, you know. Okay. See you guys.